Hello, and thanks for checking out another episode of SQUPCAST. I'm Adam from SquaredUp, and today I have a slightly different episode for you today. I've called it Mid-Year Madness because, well, it's the middle of the year, and each year everyone who works at SquaredUp gets together all in one place. We're a fully remote company these days, and we put on a little company conference that we call SQUPCON. So this year we were at Centre Parks, Woburn Forest here in the UK, having a bit of fun in the woods. We do a nice sort of fun conference day with everything that you'd expect at a conference, lots of learning. And over lunch, we put on an expo where different teams from the business run little booths and show off the things that they've been working on. And I thought it would be fun to pack up our recording studio and take it with me and pull people in while they're in the expo and get them to tell me about their highlights. Maybe let's slip some sneak previews for what's coming up in the second half of the year. And also an opportunity to get a few people who don't normally appear on this series to drop in and talk about how they use SquaredUp, or just talk about SquaredUp and the services that we offer to people. So I've kind of broken up the recordings into a mix of product and plugins, then a little bit about the services we provide, the things that we do to help our customers. And we'll finish off with a couple of nice sort of feel-good things about SquaredUp and the kind of company we are, why we do SQUPCON. So I'm going to get into it first with Vincent from our product management team. Vincent's been on the episode before, and he's going to talk to us about his highlight of the year. Hi, Vincent. Thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You're in our product management team. You've been on a couple of previous episodes. Give me a quick highlight summary for the year so far.
Sure. Hi, Adam. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Yeah, I mean, we've been busy reinventing dashboards, and what does that actually mean? I mean, if I look at the highlight last 12 months, dashboard are sort of a means to an end in a way, and so it's what you do with those dashboards. So we've been really focusing on sharing dashboards. Now, sharing dashboards means many things, but to me, what it means is basically not having to necessarily stare at a dashboard when something goes wrong, but being alerted when something on a dashboard is actually wrong. And the way we do it at SquaredUp, you've got a dashboard, you've got tiles, you can turn on notifications very easily, and then you can notify yourself, your team, anyone, in almost real time, basically, whether that's Slack, Teams, whatever channel you use. And really, that's just transformed the visibility of your dashboards and our dashboards into your teams.
Yeah, nice. Well, I mean, it's an absolutely killer feature, being able to push things into Slack, being told by SMS through Zapier, whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah, and it's nice to see how customers use it as well. When you get a notification from a dashboard, you get a preview of it, and just customers are using it a lot and just loving it. So yeah, it's pretty
nice. And of course, that's a pro feature, so if you're only on Start or Free,
if you're already on Start,
click here to subscribe. Thank you very much for dropping in, Vincent. I'll let you get back to the expo.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks very much to Vincent there. I'll apologize to all of you watching this that I introduce everybody in exactly the same way. So if you count the number of times I say SQUPCAST or SQUPCON and email me at the end of this, I'll send you a box of Lego if you get the count right. I thought I'd just share my screen and just quickly show sharing off. We haven't really covered it too much. So let's say I've got this killer dashboard and I want to put it on, let's say, a wall screen, or I want to embed it into another app, or just share a link with someone who isn't a SquaredUp user. We've added a few different options for sharing. So from the share button up here, I can manage access to this workspace. So if I just want to, bring someone else who's already using SquaredUp in so they can see it, I can add them straight from here. But we have a couple of options under this link sharing section. So this first option, anyone with the link, does exactly how it sounds. It creates a URL that is open to the world. If you give this URL to somebody, they can see the dashboard. Now, it is read-only. They can still kind of interact with it. They can hover over graphs and see the exact values. But the fundamental of this is it is a fully public link. So these obviously can be used with caution. Great for sharing with people external to your company, external to SquaredUp, if you're maybe a service provider and you want to give a dashboard to a customer. The other option adds a bit more security. Anyone in my organization, and like it says in the brackets, restricted by email domain. So with this option enabled, what I can effectively do is choose to ask people to log in, but they don't actually have to have a SquaredUp license to do that. But I can then lock it down to my company email domain. If I was using that option here under settings and then under sharing, you'll see the option to control these. So maybe you don't want globally anyone to do fully public links. You can turn that off. Again, you can turn on or off anyone in the organization, and you can then manage which email domains you consider safe. So this will still require somebody to log in to SquaredUp, but like I said, it doesn't assign them a user license. So it's a pretty cool way of getting dashboards out to people. We'll definitely have more on sort of sharing and notifications in the series. Up next, we have Rich Peters from our engineering team. He's been working a lot on our map functionality, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it.
Hey Rich, thanks for dropping into our SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You're one of our most experienced, seasoned engineers. Give me your biggest highlight of this year. It's got to be something awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I think probably for me, it's integrated the new map, so that's a big feature. Kind of allows you to see all of your infrastructure in one place and explore issues. So you see all your monitoring state on there, so you can quickly drill down into nodes that are unhealthy. So it gets your answers really, really quickly. It's nice and interactive and looks cool, which is always a huge benefit. So yeah, that's definitely my highlight.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think the dashboard sitting on top of a graph like ours do, on top of a map, is a big differentiator, and certainly being able to click around, have it just really nice to play with is often quite key to just discovering cool things. So thank you very much for your contribution this year. It's been great. I'm sure we'll get you on at the end of the year. I'm sure there'll be something awesome to talk about then.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much to Rich for that. Again, I thought I'd just quickly show this off because it's a pretty cool feature. I've drilled down into my favorite server, SalesWeb01. This is the regular sort of drill down view. And here in the corner, we've always had this map section, but we've changed the way that it works, and we've changed the way how it looks. So that's going to expand that out into full screen. What this is showing me here is that SalesWeb01 has relationships to other objects that we've discovered. And in this case, these are objects from Azure, New Relic, and SCOM. We've correlated SalesWeb01 across all those sources. So if you're familiar with Azure, you'll see, for example, here, this SalesWeb01 object is contained within this resource group, and it has this tag. From SCOM, we're getting things like it's a member of a SCOM group, it's related to a volume, the C drive, it has the D drive, it has an Ethernet adapter. But more importantly, and I think more usefully, you can surface the way that this object's being used in SquaredUp. So if I expand these 5 monitors, you'll see that these monitors exist on these other dashboards. And I can keep drilling in, so I can see, for example, that this server that I've just searched for is monitored on a dashboard owned in the Windows team workspace. Maybe that's not my team, and maybe I had no idea that the Windows team had an interest in monitoring that server. So just by being able to sort of click around and explore the relationships between objects in SquaredUp, you can kind of discover cool things. Maybe another team considers you a dependency, maybe you're dependent on them. Whenever you build monitoring, whenever you add things to dashboards, we create this map sort of organically in the background. It's a really cool feature. It's definitely worth exploring further. Up next, we have Dave, also from our product management team. Dave's also been on previously, and he's going to tell us about, well, you might let something slip. Let's see the video.
Hi Dave, thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You're on our product management team, former engineer, current engineer, kind of really, bit of everything. You've been on a couple of episodes already. Yeah. What's your either biggest highlight of the year so far, or sneak reveal feature for the rest of the year?
Oh, sneak reveal, that sounds good. That's my cup of tea, yeah. So we're about to release a feature called Dashboard Variables, which is a cool one. Lets you create reusable views that you can filter. So no longer do you have to create dashboards, for each application or for each service. You can just create one dashboard and filter it down on the fly so your viewers can filter it. And then a little bit later in the year, we're going to introduce something called Perspectives. Now, if you're from our dashboard server world, you've probably heard of Perspectives. So we're introducing a way that when you drill down to an object, we'll show you useful data, useful views. So you no longer just get a static view when you drill down. You're going to see the dashboards you've maybe built for that service or application, whatever it might be. So yeah, some real good stuff coming over the next couple of months, I think.
Okay, well, I won't ask you for any sneak previews. But yeah, thanks for dropping in. I'll get back to you on Dashboard Variables. I'm sure it's worth covering in a whole episode.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'll be up for joining you on that one.
Nice one. Thanks for dropping in.
Thanks, Adam. Cheers.
So unlike past me, I am going to give you a sneak preview because I think this feature is really cool. Dashboard Variables will be coming pretty soon. And Dave also mentioned Perspectives, which will be coming further down the road. So this is a dashboard you get out of the box from Azure DevOps, and it is scoped to one pipeline. And without dashboard variables, if I wanted to build this exact view, but for a different pipeline, maybe one that I care about, I can either change this one, change every tile, or clone this dashboard and end up with a bunch of dashboards all for different objects. Let's switch to the same dashboard, but with variables enabled. So all I've done is create a collection of objects, in this case, the two pipelines I'm most interested in. In the background here, you can see the dashboard sort of grayed out because I haven't yet selected an object. But if I go in here and choose our main SquaredUp Cloud pipeline, this dashboard loads and all of the data is for that pipeline. But equally, I can just change that and see it for a different pipeline. So at the moment, as soon as this launches, you'll be able to do that for any sort of collection of objects. Maybe you've got a sales manager dashboard from Salesforce and you want to be able to switch between different people in the team, or you've got a really great server dashboard for Azure VMs and you want to be able to flick between different VMs. You can do that, and any work that you do to build these dashboards will then contribute more to perspectives, where when you drill into, let's say, the SquaredUp Cloud pipeline in the future, you'll be able to see this already sort of nested under that object. So again, really, really awesome feature that's coming pretty soon. Up next, we've got Matthew, also from our engineering team. Matthew is going to talk to us about a pretty huge piece of work that's kind of in the background. There's one part of it that you see in the app, but a lot of structural work's been going on in the background here. I'll let Matthew explain.
Hi Matthew, thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. Long time since we've had you on a SquaredUp webinar, too long some would say, but you are actually coming back on the episode after this one.
I am. I'm also on the other side of this because I used to be on that side.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, our former host for all of our episodes. What I'd like you to tell me about today, we've recently revamped the plan and usage page in the app. Very critical part for people to know when they need to give us more cash. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, what people should look out for, how cool it is?
Well, the first thing was we made it actually useful. So the previous plan and usage page basically just made your limits and some simple counts, and that was about it. What we've done now is we've made sure that it reflects the limits that are applicable to the plan that you are on. So if you are a customer where there's certain kind of features being limited, those get priority and you get a nice sort of progress bar showing how you're getting towards it. When you get full, it goes red, gives you that hint, you probably click the upgrade button. If you then do choose to upgrade, we're going to downgrade those metrics because maybe now they're unlimited. Your monitor count is no longer relevant to you when you can have as many of them as you like when you're on Pro. So we'll swap that out and show you metrics that are actually important. We've also upgraded the data query usage graph that we used to show. So previously it just gave you an overall count, which was like, oh cool, I can see what number I'm on. How do I address this? How do I, if I don't want to give SquaredUp more money, how do I address this number and bring it down? And you didn't really have a way of finding out anymore. You had to sort of do a calculation on the back of the paper and try to figure it out.
Sure.
Now we've broken it down into categories, so we can show you specifically, okay, this proportion is some shared dashboards. Maybe you've got a monitor on a screen that is refreshing really constantly. You could turn that off on the weekend to save yourself some queries, or maybe you need to consolidate some existing dashboards, that kind of thing. We've got one for monitoring as a category as well. That's a really easy way of burning through those queries, right? So now you can address that. So, oh goodness, we've got loads of monitors. Maybe they've only been turned on the past week or so. Okay, I know I can go and turn the frequency down, or again, consolidate some of these to try and reduce that sort of query usage. So again, the idea is it's a first step. I wouldn't say we're all the way there yet. The idea is to make it useful for you to understand how you're consuming the product. That's the usage part, and then also sort of what's included in your plan and where you're stressing the limits. And to try and make sure that you're ahead of the game. Because ultimately, it's better to know before you hit a limit that you're approaching it than it is actually when you get there.
So, in other words, it's a pretty face on top of a horrible system of restrictions that's going to ruin everyone's life. That's what I took from that.
Yeah, a little bit. So if you enjoyed having stuff for free before, well, we are now clamping down on
exactly. That. So if you have looked at the pricing page, we'll actually reflect the pricing page. Yes. Well, I think that's perfectly fair. So thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate it.
No worries.
So despite giving Matthew a little bit of a hard time there, the work in the background has been absolutely massive. And it is worth saying that we haven't actually taken anything away per the pricing page, but certainly in the free tier over the last year or so, some features have been enabled that shouldn't have been. So Matthew's been doing a lot of work to make it easier for us to enforce licensing, but also to make it much easier for you to understand how you're using SquaredUp. So if you're interested in checking it out, the plan and usage page here in the bottom corner has had this massive revamp. There's a handy upgrade button that lets you move up to the next tier if you need to, and some much better visualizations to help you understand what you're using, what your limits are, how much you've consumed. One thing that's worth noting, we talk about queries and objects quite a lot in SquaredUp. So objects are what we index into our map when you add plugins, and queries are any requests to work with data, basically. When you, as a logged in user, are using SquaredUp, that's all included in your user license. There's no query limiting on that. We have, however, broken this graph out to make it more useful, like Matthew hinted at, where we're separating API requests from usage of shared dashboards from the usage of monitors. And you can see here in our demo tenant, shared dashboards are accessed a little bit. There's a few little lines right up there at the top. Monitors are using the vast majority of our query count. So as a paying customer, you can use this page to figure out, yeah, maybe I've set up too many monitors. Maybe my monitor frequency is too high. But it's generally a much more useful page now. You can get a really, really easy view of the number of users, number of objects, number of queries, and these nice summary metrics at the bottom as well, sort of showing you the number of monitors. So despite giving Matthew a hard time, there's a huge amount of work gone into this in the background, and it is there to make it better for everybody to use SquaredUp, I promise. Up next, we have Wayne. Wayne's also in our engineering team, part of our plugins team. And Wayne is going to talk about a really cool initiative to make plugins accessible to our community. I'll let Wayne tell you more about it.
Hi Wayne, thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth. We're having a lovely day at SQUPCON. You're one of our most esteemed engineers. You've been around SquaredUp for a really long time now, and there's nothing you don't know about our products. What's your favourite thing that you've done this year?
Well, thanks for having me, Adam, and thanks for asking. I'm in the plugins team at the moment in SquaredUp, and the plugins team is responsible for connecting our cloud product to third-party data sources. At the moment, it's a very manual process for us. A lot of these plugins are handwritten, and I've been looking into ways where we can actually do this in a way that third parties can contribute to the plugin population. So it's no longer SquaredUp that's responsible for writing every single plugin. And I think that will really open the door for connecting the SquaredUp Cloud product to lots of third-party sources.
Yeah, so I think some of your other big contributions, Web API plugin, a few other things like that, PowerShell plugin.
Yeah, PowerShell plugin in Dashboard Server and the Cloud product. Yeah, I'm a big fan of PowerShell, absolutely. And then I had a lot to do with Vader in the Dashboard Server product as well.
So all of our best features have your hands on them somewhere. But I think, declarative plugins are going to be a good unlocker for those more technical users who are fine to do a little bit of extra legwork. They don't just want to use Web API. They maybe want to do something a bit more intensive, and we're going to make that easy for people.
Yeah, absolutely, and then hopefully generate a community feel about it, so that people start sharing these things and spread the love, really.
Great. Well, as the core of our current plugins community, I'm sure everyone will be very welcome, and we'll look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Wayne.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks very much to Wayne there. Really great to have him on an episode, and a really, really great effort to be able to bring plugins out to the world for people to be able to build their own. Sticking with plugins, we've now got Bruce, who's going to talk about some improvements that have made his highlights this year.
Hey Bruce, thanks for dropping into the booth here at SQUPCON. You work in the plugins team, you work a lot on Dashboard Server. Give me a highlight that we can share with the audience.
We do indeed. So there's a load of stuff that we've worked on and that we are working on that I'm quite excited about. Within the Azure DevOps plugin, we've done a load of work on the out-of-the-box dashboards, so they actually look pretty good now. And actually give you value out of the box. The same is true with the Azure plugin as well. Lots of work to make all the dashboards and tiles KQLified, which means they are valuable because they show you the top things, the bottom things, rather than a random sample, which is amazing. And on the dashboard server front, it's no real surprise, no real secret, but we're working on scheduled maintenance mode, which is a big pain point for customers, has been for years. So very excited about those things. Lots of cool things to come.
Nice. Well, thanks for dropping into our little pop-up studio. Appreciate it. Catch you on an episode at some point in the future, I'm sure.
Indeed. I haven't done one yet. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'll get you on. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
Thanks to Bruce there for giving us a couple of highlights and talking about Dashboard Server as well a little bit. Up next, we've got Dave, who's going to tell us about the Azure plugin and also one of his potential future plans for an awesome new plugin that'll appeal to a lot of the people who watch this.
Hey Dave, thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You work in our plugins team.
Correct.
Integrations are probably the most important part of our platform for customers getting started. What's our best plugin right now?
So I think I might be setting some fires here, like, a bit of rivalry going, but I must admit I really love the Azure plugin. I think it's great how much we can pull back and how quickly. I just think it's really cool. There's so many different options with it, so many different things to look at. You can get some really interesting things out of it.
And it covers pretty much every aspect of Azure, right? So
absolutely.
All the resources there, all the Azure Monitor data, Custo from getting data out your log analytics, app insights. We'll maybe not talk about cost just quite now. I'm sure there'll be something coming fun for that. If we had one new plugin to build, personal or business related, what's the next one you would build if you had a week spare?
So for me, it would probably be Unify. So I've got a bunch of that kit at home, and it's one of those things I've been really interested to play with. I think it's just one of those things that they've got so many different bits to it that there'll be many options to mess around with.
Protect, access, the
Absolutely.
networking stuff.
Can you mention CCTV?
Exactly. CCTV dashboards, live and app. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, keep me on the loop for that one because I'm a Unify user at home as well. And the Office.
True.
Obviously, but thanks for that. I'll let you get back to the expo.
Excellent.
Thanks.
See you soon.
Thanks very much to Dave for that and all the other engineers who've been in the episode so far. Moving into a slightly different area now, we're going to bring on Tom from our business analysis team, our finance team. Tom is going to talk about some of our internal use here at SquaredUp.
Hey Tom, thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You work in our finance team. You're one of our, I'd say, more advanced internal users for SquaredUp. Tell us a little bit about how you use SquaredUp and why.
Cool, sure. We use SquaredUp to visualize lots of our business data. So primarily we're concerned with billings data. It allows us to show the company how the business is performing across a range of different variables, so be that our new business or renewals performance. We use that at the start of board meetings, and we also communicate at whole company get-togethers, both quarterly and monthly, how the business is doing.
Nice. I mean, crucially as well, those dashboards are available 24/7, right? So we use them in meetings, but people can check them, and they're always pretty much live. So
yeah, exactly that. We're pretty transparent with both what our budget is for the year and how we're performing against it. So there are structured points where we will review that as a company, but also if someone's particularly interested at any point in time, then they can go and have a look for themselves.
Nice. And the main data source is Salesforce, right? So the alternative would be buy everyone a Salesforce license, have a Salesforce admin building dashboards all day long. SquaredUp, you can do it yourself and everybody can see it.
Yeah, exactly that. The functionality within the product allows us to replicate everything that we can do in Salesforce and probably extends that functionality. So the fact that you can do that already is a perk, but the ability then to share that company-wide with people that don't have those expensive Salesforce licenses is a massive plus for us.
Great. Thank you very much. I'll let you get back to your lunch. Thanks for dropping in.
Cheers, Adam.
Bye-bye.
A really good overview there from Tom of sort of how we use SquaredUp internally. And I guess interestingly, we've always used SquaredUp to dashboard SquaredUp data. And one thing that's always been pretty challenging, particularly for me, is that in some of our other products and without these rich integrations that we have in cloud, typically dashboard authoring lives with a very small number of people, me and a couple of others. Since we added the Salesforce plugin, Tom's been going crazy just building dashboards that he's needed. He does it all himself. Occasionally asks for a bit of help with something trickier, maybe a bit of SQL analytics, but being able to build a dashboard, turn on sharing, publish it out through a Slack channel, it's awesome. Just being able to do that kind of stuff. Speaking of awesome, up next we have Casey, who's from our technical account management team. Casey's going to talk a little bit about the kind of services that we offer to our customers when they sign up for our enterprise plan. So if you are considering it, Casey's one of the faces that you might get to meet. I'll let Casey explain some more.
Hey Casey, thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You're one of our technical account managers. Many of our customers will know you, and anyone who's met us at an event probably knows you with your extravagant mouse driving on the hip style.
Yep.
Today, no mouse on hip, just talking into the mic. Give me an idea of the kind of services that we offer to our customers now that we run our cloud product and we've got more and more customers onboarding.
Yeah, so part of what we do, the technical account management team, we run onboarding for our customers. So a new customer comes on board, we will host a number of sessions bespoke to the customer themselves. So it can be anything from training to complete setup, walk through some of the new features in SquaredUp, as we're already bringing in things like the map function, introducing that to the new customers. And just overall making them, ensuring their success with the product.
Nice. So you're one of the first faces people will meet. You stick with them throughout, make sure they're successful. I mean, the biggest benefit for us as well is just the incredible product feedback we get, figuring out how customers want to use the product, what features we need to build next, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously jet setting around the world to go to events and do awesome demos and give away Lego.
Correct.
Yeah. What a job.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Thanks for dropping in. I'll let you get back to the expo.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
Cheers.
Thanks to Casey for that. In a previous episode, Richard Jones, our CTO, joined me and we talked all about security for our SaaS platform. In that episode, we mentioned that we were working on publishing our CAIQ, a fairly comprehensive security questionnaire published to a standard that's available online. We actually just finished that, and up next, I'm going to get Sam to talk to us about the process of how that was completed.
Hey Sam, thanks for dropping into the booth here at SQUPCON. You work in our systems team and you've been doing a lot of work on security this year for our customer benefit. Running a SaaS platform can be tricky when it comes to security. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing for our customers.
Yeah, so thanks Adam, because it's great to be here at SQUPCON today. It's very interesting to see what sort of the progress we're making on the product. Sort of in terms of security from sort of a SaaS perspective, it can be difficult because there's lots of data residency issues we have to deal with. So like US customers generally want their information in America. In Europe, we want it in the EU. And then you get customers like in Germany where they want it in Germany itself. So there's sort of those challenges that can be quite tricky that we've got to manage from a perspective of regulation and things like that, but sort of internally what we've been doing to try and make it easier is we've produced a document from the Cybersecurity Alliance which is called a CAIQ.
Yeah.
And essentially that's a document that has information about our product, so SquaredUp Cloud in particular, about things like the security measures we've put in place, what do we control, what does the customer control, and where we use Azure and AWS, what do they control in terms of the data centers, because we don't host the information, it's all done by them. So that's sort of the basis of where people can find that information, and I believe it's also going up on our website as well.
Awesome.
Under the sort of security and privacy policy area.
Nice.
And then of course can also be found in the CSA STAR registry.
Cool, so that's basically like the ultimate security questionnaire, millions of questions, all kind of answered. Anything you'd want to know should be in there.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. That's the aim, I think it was 256 questions, so hopefully all of the answers are in there.
Nice. Okay. Well, it's a lot of hard work. I'm sure our customers appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in today. See ya.
Cheers, Adam.
Thanks very much to Sam for that. As he mentioned, it is available on docs.squaredup.com, our knowledge base. You can just search for security and you'll find a page with a link to that article. I know we have a few of our partners who watch this, and hopefully some prospective partners might find this, because next I'm joined by Chris, who's our cloud partner manager. He's going to talk to us a little bit about the kind of work that we do with our partners, the services we can offer to partners, and the kind of people we're looking for.
Hey Chris, thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You're our partnerships manager. Let's use this as an opportunity to have a sort of call to arms to all those little tech vendors out there, all those other companies who can help us while we help them. What's your message to our audience? What do we want from a partnerships point of view for the next 6 months?
Yeah, thanks Adam, thanks for having me on. I think over the last few months we've certainly seen quite a lot of growth with our existing partner network. I mean, SquaredUp, as you know, have been around for a long time, and we've got partners very much established in our areas that we've been working. But we're just starting to get into some new partnership agreements with a variety of different people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a large MSP, if you're a CSP, if you're a little consultant, basically, if you're managing your customers' data, particularly in the field of Azure at the moment, we've seen quite a lot of good progress with a number of consultants there, then we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And if you've got a use case for a new tool that you've been struggling to visualize data from, let's hear about it, and we'll see if we can help you out. So yeah, get in touch.
I think you can check out squaredup.com/partners.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's information on the different types of partnerships we do. We partner with companies to help build integrations. We help companies resell our products. We support all sorts of awesome businesses, and you're the face of it. So
the face/voice right now. So so do get in touch. As I said before, we're open to all kinds of different partnerships.
Cool.
SquaredUp.com/partners.
Thank you very much for your time, Chris.
No
Cheers.
worries. Thanks, Adam.
As I'm sure you can get from the people who've joined me on the episode so far, we're all a very passionate bunch here at SquaredUp. So we're down to our last couple of clips. And up next, we are going to be talking to Lisa and Rachel, who have spearheaded some pretty cool campaigns to get us some recognition for the kind of company we are and how much we value our people and culture.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth here at SQUPCON. You aren't here to talk about our product or SQUPCON, but instead to talk about great places to work, which SquaredUp is, and we've won a few awards over the last few years. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Thanks, Adam. So, yeah, we are delighted that for 3 years in a row, we have been awarded Great Place to Work. And this year we came 5th in the overall rankings for medium-sized businesses. So we are super impressed with ourselves.
Yeah, it's really great to hear from our employees what we're doing well, what's maybe not going so well, so we can learn from everyone's experiences of what can make us an even better and even greater place to work. So having the award lets us know that we are a great place to work, but also doing the survey and committing to doing this every year helps us grow as a company and learn how we can support and better improve our employees' experience and make it a better place.
Awesome. So if you're looking for a job, SquaredUp's the place.
Exactly.
Love it. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much to Lisa and Rachel. Only one microphone, so they did their best to get into it. I think we've won maybe 8 of those Great Place to Work awards in the last 3 years in all sorts of different categories. Best workplaces in tech, best workplaces for women, and certainly for a few different sort of sizes of company in a few different sectors. We're going to end the episode with just a little spot on why we do SQUPCON, why I was there polluting this episode with all that noisy background audio. So I'll leave that to Tim to just explain a little bit about why we actually do SQUPCON.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for dropping into the SQUPCAST booth. You're our Chief Operating Officer from the lofty heights of our boardroom, dropped in to us to check out SQUPCON today. Tell us about SQUPCON and why we do it. I think no one else has talked about why we're actually all here today.
Great question. Well, we do it because we need to get together. You need to get together, don't you, at times? Particularly in this day and age where we're all working remote, we're all off in our own bits and pieces and working hard on our own stuff, but you just don't get the opportunity to come together, get to see each other, share stories, learn from each other, have a bit of fun, bit of social interaction. It just means an awful lot. And a business like ours, where culture is huge and it makes it's so important to us. You have to take a bit of time to invest in that and spend a couple of days together just doing some fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've been remote first since COVID started, so early 2020. And you're right, that most of us work all over the country, in different countries even. So everyone is here at Centre Parcs, Woburn Forest here in the UK today, having a lot of fun. A whole year's worth of office fun in one afternoon, basically, with a little bit of tree trekking and water sports and stuff like that.
So some challenges in there to develop a bit of teamwork and help people kind of learn a bit about themselves and about each other. But the most important thing is getting to know each other. you build bonds, you build interaction, you build relationships, don't you, through doing this kind of thing, and that is invaluable to us as a business.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for dropping onto the episode.
Hey, no problem.
First time caller.
I broke my SQUPCAST virginity.
Exactly. Well, we really appreciate you dropping in.
Nice.
What an awesome company it sounds like SquaredUp is to work for. So thanks for sharing.
It is absolutely awesome.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy.
Well, that's about it for today. Our normal scheduled programming will resume next week. Matthew, who you saw earlier, is going to be dropping in to talk about our Relay Agent and on-prem plugins. So if you run a data center or you run services that sit behind firewalls or in secured networks, it's a really great episode to understand exactly how our Relay Agent works and how our on-prem plugins access your data. I'm going to wrap up for today, just with the usual couple of links. If you have questions about anything to do with SquaredUp or monitoring, data analytics, anything techie really, you can probably find somewhere to ask that over on Community Answers at community.squaredup.com. If you have any feedback or requests, if you've seen anything in the first few demos that I did, and you were interested to sort of know more about it or to ask for certain things, feedback.squaredup.com is the place to go, especially if you have comments on plugins or ideas for new plugins. And if you have been counting the number of times I've said SQUPCON or SQUPCAST in this episode, including those, send an email to squupcast@squaredup.com and I'll send you a box of Lego. But normally just use that if you want to get in touch about anything. If you have any ideas for an episode, if you're working with SquaredUp already and you've got a really cool use case you'd love to share, I'd love to have you on, so get in touch. But that's it for today. Thanks.